Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. Brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Cellular. The official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Visit MidwestOne.bank for empowered money management. Member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. More on that in just a minute, but Big Ten basketball is here, if for only a week. Tomorrow night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena, Iowa plays host to Northwestern. 6 o'clock is the tip time. Pregame coverage starts at 5 o'clock here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Actually, our pregame coverage starts right now with Hawk Talk and Iowa coach Fran McCaffrey. Welcome in. A wintry, chilly night. This is like mid-January type Big Ten weather, but I guess it fits the mood, huh? I'm Gary Dolphin, joined by former Hawkeye star Bobby Hansen. Coach Fran will be along shortly with his insight as to the Big Ten's opening game tomorrow evening against the Northwestern Wildcats. In the meantime, we'll visit with guard Drew Thelwell, who's made an impressive debut through a 6-1 start for the Hawkeyes. Northwestern comes in tomorrow night at 6-2, having defeated UNLV, Nevada, Las Vegas last Friday night, 66-61. In fact, the Wildcats' 2 losses have come to Butler, 71-69, and Dayton, 71-66. So they're very close to being undefeated coming to town, and they have a lot of returning talent from a year ago, which we'll break down over the next 90 minutes. The Hawkeyes now have not played since last Tuesday, a 110-77 victory over South Carolina upstate. Iowa's only loss to date was to Utah State, 77-69, a week and a half ago down in Kansas City at the NABC Hall of Fame Classic. Iowa is hoping that the last 6 days off has helped to heal hand and wrist injuries to guards Josh Dix and Peyton Sanford. Both are averaging double figures, while forward Owen Freeman leads the team with a 17.5-point average and 8 rebounds a game. Bobby, hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
It was good, Gary. And same to you and Cindy up there in Dubuque. Yeah, we just relaxed, watched basketball, watched football, and ate way too much.
Not necessarily in that order, but
you got it.
Well, let's hope now the Hawks are ready for a run to March Madness starting this week with, we got not only this game, but several quad one opponents back to back. So it's a big next 10 days, and then we get into the meat of the Big Ten, and then look out, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And, the 2 big games here this weekend, though, Big Ten, when you open up the season with a couple of really good basketball teams. Northwestern, no Boo Buie. That's the good news, but they got some players. Chris Collins does with this team, and they're tough, man. 6-2. They're going to play some defense. They're going to get after you, and they'll break on. But got the big man inside. He's tough in there, Nicholson, and then you got Brooks Barnheiser, who was voted on one of the All Big Ten teams, and Nicky Buckets, they call him. Nick Martinelli, the lefty, the very crafty. The guy can score from 3. He gets to the free throw line. Just a very good player. So, it's going to be a tough one for the Hawkeyes, but that's what you want. You had some time off. Everybody getting healthy and get after it, and then a trip to Michigan before we meet again on Hawk Talk next Monday night.
Brock Harding has really elevated his game the last few outings. It's apparent his shooting has improved immensely. You know, he spent the entire offseason working on that jump shot, and it's showing 51% from the field, 52% from three, and he's finding open teammates with his 6 assists a game. So teams are going to press up on him because he is hitting shots. So he's going to find an open teammate. I mean, he is turning into, or he's evolving, I guess, before our very eyes, what Fran saw in the recruiting process and why he was named Mr. Illinois Basketball. But Brock and our guest tonight, Drew Thelwell, have played a pivotal role in Iowa's early season success, Bobby, at point guard and really all over the floor.
Yeah, really have. And you mentioned Brock Harding worked awfully hard in the offseason to up his jump shot, and that might have been one of the missing things from his game last year, but really has got that going now, as you mentioned, shooting 51%. He still passes the basketball phenomenally, giving it up 6 assists a game, and he's tough as nails, man. He's going to get out there and play some defense on you. He's not afraid of the challenge at any moment, and it's good to see Brock knocking down that three-point shot. Because when they do come out to guard him now, Gary, he's going to dribble by him and open up his teammates.
Well, both will be important tomorrow night, handling this veteran Northwestern team. You mentioned Boo Buie. Thank goodness he is gone. He loved to see the Hawks come out onto the floor. You could say that about every Big Ten opponent. He seemingly lit up everybody last year, and that's why he was, in my view, the Big Ten's most valuable player. But everybody else seems to be back. I thought Ty Berry had left. He's back. Brooks Barnhizer, you mentioned him. And 7-foot center Matthew Nicholson. Now, Barnhizer and forward the aforementioned Nick Martinelli are 20-point-a-game scorers. Nobody else in college basketball has 2 guys averaging 20 points a game.
Yeah.
Northwestern does. Barnhizer and Martinelli. Remember him last year over in Northwestern? Yep. He came off the bench and was stroking threes, driving inside. He's 6'7". He's from the Chicago suburbs. I think Glen Ellen or Glenview. So the first thing that jumps out at you, Bobby, this is an older veteran Northwestern team under Chris Collins. Yeah,
they're not real deep, Gary. So the Hawkeyes hopefully can wear them down, get that running game going. They don't like to get out and really run like the Hawkeyes do, but that's what Iowa's going to do is get out and push the tempo, get in their little press and get some steals, get her going there. But they've got also a graduate kid that transferred in from Fairfield University, who's a heck of a player, Jalen Leach at 6'4". Kind of an off guard in there, but he's a do-it-all guard for them as well. So, but it's Brooks Barnhizer and Nick Martinelli, as you mentioned, only 2 20-point scorers in the country on the same team.
Northwestern suffered its only Big Ten home loss last year to the Hawkeyes, Bobby, 87-80 at Welsh Ryan Arena. Iowa outlasted the great Boo Buie and the Wildcats 54% shooting. They hit 10 threes. Iowa's defense is much improved, though, and will need to be for the 6 p.m. tip-off here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Would love to see you over at Carver Hawkeye Arena for the start of Big Ten Conference play. The Hawks have a road game Saturday at Michigan. After that, then hosts Iowa State at Carver Hawkeye Arena a week from Thursday. We're inside the beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing. We've got a table or a bar stool for you and a lot of delicious food on the new revised menu here at the Hyatt Regency, which was alive this past weekend for that incredible football victory over Nebraska. And we invite you to come out to the Hyatt Regency anytime, really. The Watermill Kitchen and Bar is where we're at. Watch the show live each week. They'll be offering an extended happy hour every Monday night or whenever we have Hawk Talk, including $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. Come on down to Watermill Kitchen and Bar and join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball. All right, we're going to step out and take our first break for the night. If you'd like to join the conversation, you're more than welcome to do so on the Hawkeye Radio Network via the new Varsity Network app. On social media, you can ask Coach McCaffrey or make a comment, ask him a question or a comment on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. U.S. Cellular text line, that's a new additive. That's open this year, 319-853-8344, 319-853-8344. And you can even email us a question at hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com. We're here each week. We had our debut, our maiden voyage last week. We'll be here each and every Monday night through the month of December. And then once the Big Ten season starts, we could be here on a Wednesday, maybe a Tuesday. It kind of bounces around schedule-wise, as you know. With basketball, we have 35 games. Football, 12. We're pretty well locked into a singular night each and every week. Not so with basketball, but be assured that most nights we're here on a Monday, and each week they offer great specials here at the Hyatt Regency. Back with Bobby and yours truly. Drew Thelwell will be stopping by, and then Coach McCaffrey will join us on Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency, courtesy of Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
I'm Y.A. Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Y.A. Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes, and it's blocked it. Kick is back to the line of scrimmage. Don't touch the ball.
Hawks get it back. Y.A. Black, that man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Car Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. At Community Choice, it's simply a mortgage. No hoops to jump through or limbo sticks to go under. Just a straight, easy path from point A to point B. It takes less than 60 seconds to get started at unpackyourmortgage.com. Loan approval subject to credit score and analysis. See Credit Union for details. Equal opportunity lender.
People are having a hard time containing their excitement about the new Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery.
Holiday tickets? I love these!
Especially when they find out you can win part of over $1 million in second chance cash prizes when you enter any holiday ticket in the Iowa Lottery's VIP Club.
$1 million? Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. Cash prizes are coming to town from the Iowa Lottery.
Woohoo!
See rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Welcome in, everybody, along the Hawkeye Radio Network. Thank you for joining us. We're sponsored in part by U.S. Cellular, as a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Gary Dolphin with Bobby Hansen. We're awaiting Drew Thelwell. One of Iowa's prize catches in the transfer portal. Bobby, here in the past few months, he and Seydou Traore. Now, Seydou turned an ankle pretty good last week. Don't know that he's available tomorrow night. Probably not. But in any event, talk about Drew Thelwell. What a combo he and Brock Harding have made here in the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, they really have. You know, they're listed as point guards, but Fran plays them together a lot. So he's got quick hands and really impressed me when the Hawks were in their three-quarter court 1-2-1-1 press, and he and Seydou up top there. They got several steals, turned the complexion of a game. I can't remember which one it was, but I was impressed with how quick he is defensively on the ball. And then the ability to make three-pointers for the Hawkeyes, averaging 23 minutes. He's shooting 56%, 42% from three. He's got a nice three-point shot. Tough kid. He's a competitor. He was the winningest player of all time at Morehead State there in Morehead, Kentucky, winning like 94 games, I believe, was his. But you could tell this kid knows how to play. Was a 2-year starter his final 2 years there at Morehead, and a great pickup, a great find in the transfer portal for the Hawkeyes. I love his game, love his toughness. Looks like a high-character kid and willing to do whatever to help this team win.
As an example, last week against South Carolina Upstate, Drew and Brock Harding combined 35 points, 13 assists, one turnover, and on the season they're averaging north of 16.5, 17 points a game, probably more than a half a dozen, maybe 8-9 assists collectively, and very few turnovers. And man, you're going to win a lot of basketball games with that kind of play at the point.
Yeah, and steals between the two of them against South Carolina Upstate there. They had 8 steals, the two kids did. And that's impressive when you're alert to the basketball. It ignites your offense off the defensive end there. And, he's going to be a valuable player for the Hawkeyes moving forward.
Owen Freeman has missed one game with sickness. He's leading the club with 17, almost 18 points a game. 8-9 rebounds. He's everything we thought he would be this year. I mean, he broke onto the scene last year as a pure freshman, but the young guy just gets better and better by the minute, not by the game.
Yeah, he really does, and you're going to be facing a big guy tomorrow in Nicholson, he played against him last year when he was a freshman. I thought Owen did a really good job, but been an impressive start for Big Freeman, and I really liked what the Hawkeyes did to start that game, the last victory against Upstate, South Carolina, but they established the big man in the paint in there early, went to him, and I think he had the first 10 points for the Hawkeyes, was 5 out of 5, but he was not to be denied, not to be stopped, but you got to get the ball to the big man as much as possible. He's expanded his game. He could step out there to the free throw line, top of the key area, even a three-pointer. We've seen him knock down threes. He's 2 for 6 this year, so he takes them selectively, but does have that ability. So a tough kid. He gets on the boards. He's your leading rebounder, 8 rebounds a game, and just a sophomore. And you're going to see him improve game to game.
What are your thoughts on 2 games in league, then step back out, play 2 or 3, 4 more non-conference games before the meat and potatoes of the Big Ten gets here in early January? I get it. They got to play 20 games, got to fit them 20 conference games, got to fit them in somewhere in the schedule. This is what, the 3rd, 4th, 5th year in a row now the Big Ten has gone to that this type of schedule. So they've got Northwestern. It's always 1 home, 1 road game. Hawks go to Michigan for a Saturday afternoon matinee. What are your thoughts in general about Big Ten, out of Big Ten, back to the Big Ten?
Well, I like it. I like to get the Big Ten started. I came from a time when you were kind of starting about now with the Big Ten games when you're playing Thursday and Saturday. But it gives you a chance. You've had your Thanksgiving action. You've had your non-conference up to this point. You kind of know what your team is. So let's test it against the Big Ten and see what we got going here. So coming up here, right away on Tuesday. And I do like the fact that, they kind of equal it out, that you got 1 at home, 1 on the road.
Beautiful. Drew Thelwell just entered the building. We'll talk with Iowa's transfer point guard, who has been such a critical factor in Iowa's early season success. The Hawks are 6-1. Northwestern is 6-2, and they meet tomorrow night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Drew Thelwell joins us here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey in just a minute, courtesy of Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Quinn Schulte, I play safety here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, and I get interceptions.
Rosma to throw, has time.
Yes,
it's deflected.
yes.
Intercepted again by Quinn Schulte. He's running the other way at the 40-yard line. Hawks have another turnover. We're going to slam the lid, hopefully, down. Here's an interception. That'll do it. And it's Quinn Schulte. And down there, the Hawkeyes will have first and goal.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Monday night, Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. Welcome back, everybody. We're in the beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Grill and Bar. We're waiting for your arrival. Drew Thelwell just stopped by to say hi. Iowa's outstanding transfer point guard. I call him a point guard. He can play 2 or 3 positions. In fact, I think you told me at Media Day you could play 4 positions.
Yeah, I don't know about 4.
You small forward? Dude, come on. What do you weigh?
About 195.
Well, okay.
Got some weight on me. I'm not too heavy, though.
I think you could back a guy or 2 down at the 4 position. But
I don't know.
You know what? I like you just fine out front and around the perimeter. Talk about your experience, Drew, playing for Coach McCaffrey, this staff, your teammates here in the first couple months practice, and June, July, August is one thing. Now you're playing games.
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest difference coming from the summer was I was trying to adjust. But now it's like I feel I'm in the flow of things. I understand what's going on. It's just a lot of freedom, so I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, it's one thing to have the playbook in front of you, but get out there and work it on the hardwood with your teammates. A whole different story, isn't it?
For sure. And I think it just took a little bit of time to get used to how everybody plays and just to feel everything. But once you get it down, you're pretty good.
You know, you and Brock, statistically at least anyway, have really meshed.
We go at each other a lot during practice, but whenever we're on the same team, we always smile at each other because we know if we're going at each other a lot, and we're on the same team, it's tough to beat both of us at the same time.
You're feeding him, he's feeding you.
And I think that just goes to he's fiery and I'm an older guy, so I enjoy it and we get after it. So we really enjoy playing with each other.
Well, you're sitting next to a pretty good big guard who could play the point, I think, if he was pressed into it. But
actually, how I made the NBA, our point guards were sick in an exhibition game.
Way.
And I had to dribble the ball up, and I had a teammate named Darryl Griffith from Louisville, national champion, that beat Iowa in the Final Four my freshman year. Yeah. But he got hot down there in front of the home fans, so I just find him, get him the basketball.
Find the hot hand. Exactly.
Got hot, and Don Nelson was coaching Milwaukee, and he's like, "What are you going to do with that guy?" And Frank Layden said, "We're going to keep him. He's cheap."
So you're telling me Stockton was sick too?
I wasn't there yet. This was my rookie year.
Oh, you're rookie. Oh, you were a year ahead of him.
He came the next year.
That's right.
Yeah, and then Karl Malone was a year after that. So,
what do you got to say to Drew, Bobby?
Hey, I'm glad you're here, my man. Yeah, all the way from Orlando in high school, and then up to Morehead State. Up there in Morehead, Kentucky, looking up there. You're over in the middle of basketball country.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of Kentucky. So tell us about your experience there in 4 years, 2-year starter at the end. all-time winningest player in Morehead State history. They've got a storied history in themselves. So, just talk about that experience, and then you get the opportunity in this crazy world of college basketball. You can continue on for another year, and you landed here in Iowa City, and how that all happened, and we're glad you're here.
And I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
I've been truly blessed to have a 5-year career. But I started off in Morehead. My first year I didn't play as much. I played behind like a lot of 23-year-olds. Just knew that year was going to be a learning experience, and I wasn't too upset. I knew I had the COVID year, so I was just going to work hard and see where I was going to go with things. And the second year, came off the bench, probably played 12 to 15 minutes a game behind a really good point guard, Talon Cooper. He actually played at Minnesota for a little bit. And then he actually, once he transferred out, he kind of handed the reins over to me and played a lot. Played over 30 minutes that junior year, and then senior year followed up with a really good team. We won 26 games, and then went to the tournament, played a really good Illinois team. And then from there, I got a call from Fran, and that's kind of how I got here.
Yeah, welcome to Iowa City, right? When'd you get here?
June 7th.
So right after school.
Right after school.
You head right up here and ready to go.
Ready to go.
And Drew, when you were at Morehead, you played a lot of Big Ten teams, or at least you're right in the middle of the SEC Big Ten footprint, but you played some Big Ten teams, Illinois in the tournament last spring, so you knew what you were getting into.
For sure. And I think that's a big part of the decision on why I chose the Big Ten. I think we played 4 teams of the Big Ten last year, so I was comfortable with it. So I was used to it.
And yet you ended up in Iowa City. What intrigued you about the Iowa program, about playing for Coach McCaffrey, coming to Iowa City?
I would say the biggest one was the freedom. I got along with Coach on the phone call, and then the guys. The guys started reaching out to me before I even got on the visit. So those are the 3 biggest things.
That's pretty much the Iowa way, as you found out, right?
Yeah, everybody's so nice up here.
Great campus, great academics.
Yes.
What are you majoring in?
I'm in sports and rec management.
So that means what? What do you want to be?
Hopefully I want to become an athletic director.
Once your NBA career is over with.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
AD? Athletic administration.
For sure.
Good for you.
You want to continue to play, though, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's NBA, that's your shot.
Yeah.
But wherever it takes you, because while you're young and you're healthy,
I'm going to go for it.
See the world and play basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
Then you can tackle NIL and the transfer portal from an administrative standpoint.
Exactly.
All right, tomorrow night, Northwestern coming in. Barnheiser, one of the best guards in the country, let alone the Big Ten. Ty Berry, I mean, they're a very veteran. Nicholson's a 7-footer. That's a lot to navigate. They finished in the top 5 the last couple of years at Northwestern in the standings. Chris Collins really built a heck of a program over there. What do you see in the scouting report? What's key tomorrow night?
They're definitely veteran guys. We just got to be able to guard to a man, I would say, and then we got to play our game. Push the ball, and I think it's going to handle itself. I think we're ready. We had a great practice today, and I think we're just ready to go and just ready to show people we're ready for the Big Ten play.
Fran has said at the beginning of the year this is probably, he thinks it's his deepest team. And that depth is being tested given the injuries here in the early season. But you guys, you press on, right? There's always a game around the corner.
For sure. And I think it's just everybody has to be ready to step up. You never know whose night is going to be. And just got to play hard and just be ready whenever your number's called.
Bobby, a final thing for Drew before we let him go?
Oh, yeah. Just, as you look ahead to the season and the rotation that you have and the guys that have, everybody's ready to play. Where do you see this team? What's the ceiling for this team right here?
I mean, I would say for sure March Madness, but I think we're going to make a deep run. But I'm always going to say that. I've been around winning and a winning culture, so I feel that on this team. So, I mean, the ceiling it's as high as we want it to be. It just has to be player-led. I know Coach Frank can only do so much. At some point, we just got to take the reins over ourselves and just get it done.
And you love the freedom that he gives you.
Oh, that helps a lot.
Green light, right?
It helps.
Get out,
that's a good
baby.
shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so last thing for me is you got up this morning and there was a dusting of snow on the ground. You're from Orlando, Florida.
Right.
So the temperature is probably a little chillier than it normally is in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think when you got up this morning?
I woke up and I was going to work out with T-Spur, and I didn't know it was snowing until I opened the door. I had slides on, and I was like, this isn't good. So I got to my car, and it wasn't a great morning for me. I was like, it caught me by surprise.
You had slides on. You see.
I had slides
on. You know
on.
what? You love a challenge, though. You love a game, right?
Oh, yeah. After the workout, I went straight home and changed the shoes.
Great to see you, bud. We'll see you tomorrow night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Drew Thelwell, ladies and gentlemen. Hawkeyes' outstanding guard. He's a critical factor tomorrow night when the Hawkeyes take on the Northwestern Wildcats over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. U.S. Cellular is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. And we're brought to you tonight by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They know that quality coverage takes a great team. And with a Wellmark individual and family health plan, you'll get the coverage you need with the doctors you want. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. We're at the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Don't forget, throughout the show tonight and each and every week, they're offering an extended happy hour, including $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. Come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar and join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Coach will join us after this timeout. We're back in a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just needs someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Car Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. Royal Flooring is your one-stop shop for the finest things in your home. Find the best material from the most trusted brands in our beautiful, fully stocked showroom in Urbandale, or shop in comfort online at shoproyalflooring.com.
Coach McCaffrey has joined us here on Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency. Gary Dolphin with Bobby Hansen and Fran McCaffrey. You can reach us again on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, on the U.S. Cellular text line. Listen close, write it down, 319-853-8344, and email your question to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Fran, been a long time since we've seen you, almost a week.
Been a week, yeah.
But the time was well used. The time off, I say time off, obviously you practice, but
we actually
couldn't have come at a better time.
We gave him a couple of days off because we're banged up, as you already pointed out, and we didn't have a game, and so we don't normally have an opportunity to enjoyed Thanksgiving with our families.
For sure.
We're always playing. Pretty much every year we've been,
we usually
Cayman Islands,
holiday tournament
St.
somewhere,
Thomas, the Bahamas, Vegas, New York. I mean, we've been all over. Last year we were in San Diego. So, for us this year, the guys at least got to go home for a couple of days. You know what? Thank the Bronze family for hosting like 5 of the guys that were here, because we were in Phoenix. Margaret and I went out to Phoenix to watch Patrick play, because it's going to be hard for me. Like, they play tomorrow night, we play tomorrow night. It's going to be hard for me to get to see him as much as I would like. So I had an opportunity to go, so I went, and that was good. They won the tournament out there, so I was happy for those guys. Happy for Patrick and Connor both, and the whole team. Coach Mata. And so it was good to be out there for a couple days, and then back. We're really working hard for this game. Obviously, first conference game against a team that is number 1 in the Big Ten in returning minutes. So it's the oldest team. They start 3 grad students, and 1 senior and 1 junior.
I thought Ty Berry was gone with Boo Booey, but he's back.
He's still. If you think of it this way, Dolph, it was Tony Perkins' freshman class that still has the COVID year. Okay, so Ty was that same year. So when this class is done, like Patrick's in his 6th year, same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, when those guys go,
that's it.
That's it. Unless there's a medical red shirt, and a lot of times now, Dolph, used to be you had 1 medical red shirt. Now, if you're injured for 2 years, they'll give you another year. So you still might play 6 years.
That's where that came from. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of guys that redshirted and then got hurt, and so they're playing. Some of those guys are playing in their 7th year now. So it's crazy. They used to be really, really hard on that stuff. It was always hard. It was always a hard no. You're done. Your eligibility's over. Now they've gone completely the other way.
The NCAA's relaxed.
Well, they've had so many lawsuits against them.
For sure.
There's fights that they don't feel like fighting anymore.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Fran, where did Boo Booey end up? Is he playing professionally?
He is, I believe, on a 2-way.
Okay.
When Jack gets here,
yeah.
My son Jack gets here, we'll ask him. He'll know.
He'll know.
He'll know.
He was a heck of a player. I mean, he almost single-handedly got the
You know what, Bobby? I was talking
year.
about that today with the media. We had a press conference, and I said, I think he had the best year of any college basketball player last year.
He did.
He had the best year. You look at the numbers, and then they went to the NCAA tournament, despite the fact they had a ton of injuries. It's a credit to Chris and his staff, but Boo was. You remember our game last year? I mean, he had 6 threes. He hit a couple threes. He had no business shooting it. We're like, great. Pulled up from 26 feet behind the screen, swish. He really blossomed. I remember his freshman year, he was pretty good. He was up and down. Sophomore year was a little better. Junior, senior year, and his 5th year. Man, was he special.
Yeah, I've always liked his game and how Chris has used him here in the last 4 or 5 years for him. And then for them, I forgot that they were, 4th in the Big Ten last year. 12-8, had a heck of a year, and then got to the NCAA tournament.
They might have been better. If you remember, Langborg got hurt.
Sure did. Shooter.
Ty Berry got hurt. Nicholson broke his foot in our game.
In that game, yeah.
He's running down the floor, and he went over like he was shot by a sniper. His foot just broke.
The last 2 years they've been in the top 5, top 6 of the league. I mean,
2 years ago they were really special,
outstanding. Yeah,
and last year they were on their way, but
by the way,
still are a veteran group.
Boo Booey's with the New York Knicks.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, so
on that 2-way.
Yes, exactly. So
he'll go up and down.
Yeah.
I saw him. I was talking to him this summer. I went out to the summer league because Connor was coaching with the Pacers, and I went out to see Tyler Cook. Tyler Cook was playing. Chris was playing. Weezy was playing. Connor was coaching. So I went out for a couple days, and it's funny. I saw Boo. I was talking to him, and the NBA Summer League is a unique venture. It is marketing genius. It really is.
How so?
Well, they capture the basketball community in the summertime. You know, now that the WNBA is going to a whole nother level because of Caitlin.
Right.
But used to be there was no basketball, it was just baseball. And so the viewership for those games is through the roof, and all the stars show up. So if you go, and it's a fan-friendly event. So when you get there are two places where they play. One's a smaller gym and one's the big arena, but they're connected. So it's like you can buy a ticket,
go from one to the other.
Go from one to the other. You can sit in there for 10 hours and watch like 8-9 games. Or part of this game, I want to go see Wembanyama. I want to go
superstars.
See, I want to go see this guy. Hey, I heard LeBron's in the gym over there. I want to go see, and then there's food and stuff and games and things. It's very festive, and plus people like to go to Vegas anyway.
For sure.
But the basketball itself, everybody that's on a team is trying to make the big club. So it's not like, okay, we're playing to win this game. Even the teams we're looking at this guy. We're looking at these three guys. Do we want to keep this guy? Do we want to sign this guy to a two-way? Is he good enough to make the big club? Or is he our first-round draft pick and we're highlighting him? Like the Pacers had Johnny Furphy. It's like, I want to watch him. I want to put him in different situations. And they had Oscar Tshiebwe playing. But then there was one game where they took him out. I think they might have won if they left him in, but they took him out because they wanted to watch other guys perform at a high level. So it's an interesting concept. So, but also, like for a guy like Boo, he for 5 years he had the ball. Absolutely. Drive it, shoot it, pass it, whatever you want to do. Now he's with a bunch of guys like, I'm shooting it. I have it. I want it.
Exactly. He might not be coming back.
And like I saw him after the one game. He's like, wow, it's a different deal now. Like, you'll be fine. Because I remember I coached him when he was in second grade.
That's right.
So he played for the Albany City Rocks fourth grade team. Connor, Patrick, and Boo. And
fourth grade.
How'd you do? Well, we won our fair share of tournaments.
I bet you did.
We used to practice at Siena. And then Patrick and Boo were in second grade, so they were playing up 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. That's great memories.
To your point, the NBA does a great job of marketing that. They also, for whatever reason, it used to be that the top draft picks didn't play in the summer league. Now they do because I think the salary cap or the structure is in there. That here's what you get.
I think you get more money, and you're right. So. The first-round draft picks play. Remember, Keegan was the MVP.
He got to play, yeah. It was fun watching.
He played 4 games or 5 games.
Yeah,
then he didn't play. You don't want him to get hurt either. So they're smart with how they utilize them. But again, like they make sure that all the stars show up.
Yep.
Even if it's 1 or 2 games, all of a sudden here's Steph courtside, and things like that. And the fans really, you feel like you're up close. Like you can touch these, you're right there. Everybody's in this small little area. I mean, I was really impressed with it. I went a couple years ago to see Keegan when he was first did it. And that year we had Utah was playing, Luka was playing, Weezy had just gotten hurt. Tyler Cook was not playing that year, and of course Keegan was. And the next year I didn't go because we were getting ready. We were going overseas. Our team.
But you mentioned Victor Wembanyama. I mean, you wouldn't see that guy play in the summer 5 years ago.
No, and that's a huge draw.
Yeah.
So you're filling the Thomas and Mack Center to basically watch a summer league game.
Mm-hmm.
There's 18,000 people because Wembanyama is going to play.
Unbelievable.
Basketball's big.
It's smart.
Very smart.
But it's fun. Like if you're a basketball junkie, I think you pay $50 to get in.
For the day.
Which isn't cheap, but I mean,
no, but
you can stay in there. Like I said, you can stay in there for 9 hours if you want.
You're seeing the best players in the world.
Yeah,
so it's a pretty good investment.
And if you're a fan of a particular team, you want to see because you might have a few guys that are in the mix. Like they were on the team last year, and they want to get those guys some seasoning, and all of the NBA brass is there, so they're all trying to make make decisions. All the scouts, all the GMs. I mean, I was with, Chad Buchanan from
Pacers.
Pacers GM. Son Trey plays for us. And he's there with Rick Carlisle and stuff like that. So you're walking through the concourse,
creme de la creme,
and you don't know who you're going to see, but you also might see like an NBA legend who's retired, but he's just out there watching, and maybe with his family or with a couple guys, or maybe they're scouts now, and again, it's very personal for the fans.
You mentioned legend. I grew up loving Oscar Robertson. He was my hero, and I see he turned 85. I think 85 or 86 the other day. I'll bet Oscar could still play. He could back you down with that dribble.
Yeah,
6'5".
And and the thing about him is like nobody ever says anything negative about that guy.
The best.
Guys that played with him, coached with him, coached against him. He used to do TV. When I was a kid, he did TV.
He did.
And everybody loved Oscar.
The Big O.
Yeah.
And we lost Bob Love, number 10.
We lost Butterbean
with the Bulls.
here.
Yeah, I always
recently.
liked his game. Yeah, him and Chet Walker and Sloan and Borwin.
See, I remember Chet Walker playing for the Sixers.
Okay.
He was on that team with Wilt and Billy Cunningham and Luke Jackson and Hal Greer and Wally Jones.
Hal Greer, the jump shot free throw.
Yep.
Chet had that head fake, though. That shot
I saw
fake showed up there.
I saw Chet Walker play in the Charles Baker League at Belfield Recreation Center in Northwest Philly for playing for Jimmy Bates B-Bar.
Northwest.
Got a good memory.
My dad's like, the Sixers are playing over here. Some guys are. I'm like literally courtside, and there's Chet warming up. Guys don't do that anymore.
No. Did he go Creighton or was he Bradley? I'm trying to remember.
I thought Bradley.
Bradley.
Yeah, I just know those guys from Sloan. They'd always come and see Jerry and yuck it up with him in the locker room, especially Van Leer.
Speaking of a unique character, Jerry Sloan.
Rest in peace.
Jerry Sloan reminds me a lot of this guy.
He was a better player.
Slightly.
He had big old meat hook hands, though, man. He'd
man.
get them on you. Back when you can play defense with your hands.
Oh, they would hold you.
Yeah.
They'd put their hand on your hip. Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Remember
You're not going by me. I know that.
The Bulls and the Bucks when Sloan was with the Bulls and Oscar was with the Bucks. That was a 4-hour fist fight.
Yeah.
Every playoff.
They should have just did MMA instead.
Jerry told me a story when he first met Norm Van
Dana
Leer.
White on the phone.
Norm Van Leer.
Yeah, Jerry and Norm were going against each other, and they started fighting, and they took it out into the hallway. They were like two dogs wrestling, got out into the hallway and slammed into the soda machine. About went through the window. And they said became best friends at that point.
What a guard combo. Sloan and Van Leer. Okay.
Both of those guys could guard.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Good luck.
Big time. Don't cross them. They'll punch you right in the face. We're at the Hyatt Regency. Great conversation, great memories on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. When we come back, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of Iowa Northwestern tomorrow night and going forward. Throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we want to salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, the state of Iowa leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Go to iowacorn.org, iowacorn.org, and learn how corn grows Iowa. We're at the Hyatt Regency in the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Come on out and join us. We're here each and every Monday night throughout the month of December. Happy holidays. Back with more on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey and Learfield right after this.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list, clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
We're back at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Hawk Talk from Learfield with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. Fran, let me ask you first. We've got a great comment or question on the U.S. Cellular text line, but the last week you've been able to get the guys back in the gym and work and not play a game. Do you like that versus the MTE tournaments of the last few years?
It depends on how the rest of your schedule shakes out. So we opted this year to play 3 different single-game neutral site games, and then do our own MTV to have some more home game opportunities to give this team an opportunity to grow and develop. So, as you know, I mean, a lot of times you don't go because football is always playing on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you think about all the places we've been, the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, New York, Vegas, St. Thomas, and the Virgin Islands.
Great spots.
I mean, we've been to a number of different places. Last year we were in San Diego. And I think that's good because depending on how the rest of your schedule shakes out, like I said, so you're going to play 20 league games, and we're going to play Iowa State. And we used to play the Big East and the ACC
challenges.
Challenge. Yeah. Well, those challenges went away. So now you've got to do MTEs, or you have to do, like I said, single game opportunities. Washington State, Utah, things like that. So, there's a couple ways you can go. I heard Danny Hurley say the other day, he goes, I don't think I'd play in an 8-team, 3-day, 3-game event. I don't particularly like those either. We've done those. And typically, Dolph, you play 3 games in 4 days. You don't play 3 days in a row because that's really hard. And a lot of people are like, well, it's kind of an NCAA atmosphere. We're not really, because you play 2 and you have a day off in between. But, we've done that. We've gone to Orlando and played 3 games in 3 days. We played 3 games in St. Thomas. But typically we'll do 2 games. If we go to one, like last year, we played Oklahoma and Seton Hall, and then as part of that event, you have a home game. Right. So that's what Butler did, for example. You know, Butler played Mississippi State and Northwestern in Phoenix, and then they played a home game. I forget who they played, but somebody at home. And then those other teams have their own mini tournament, and they'll go to Phoenix, and they'll finish out their event. So it's going to vary year to year, but typically you're going to do an MTE somewhere.
And, Coach, this year, our MTE, you called the Kenny Arnold Classic. Yeah, which I think is a great honor to a great Hawkeye, Kenny Arnold. I just want to thank you publicly once again for doing that for Kenny and his family and his friends. Just talk about how the genesis of that, how it came about.
Well, we had talked about doing our own event. We did it. We've done this twice. We did it back during the pandemic, which made sense. We brought everybody here. We kept them all in a bubble. And we were able to get through the season because we were worried, could we get through the season without having the season canceled, because it was the year before. So we decided to do it again. Some people do their own. And once we did, it was like, okay, what are we going to call it? Well, we had talked about honoring Kenny before, and what better way than to name the classic after him, invite all those guys back. They all came on Sunday. We had a big get-together. Then they all came to practice. And, of course, they all came to the game. Or some guys that couldn't come to practice came to the game and stuff like that. So it was great to see all the guys that bonded with him in a way that, you know, and I've said this to you, I've said this publicly, I said it at the press conference. You know, the greatest example of brotherhood I've ever seen, looking after Kenny Arnold for 30-plus years after he had brain surgery and suffered a stroke, because he was alive and aware of what was going on, but he couldn't speak. And so he lived a long time, I think, because of the love that his teammates showed him.
And Marty Gallagher and his family and his company, Talk to Me Technologies, which has technology that you know, Fran, that allowed Kenny and those without a voice, those stroke victims, elderly, whatever it is, they can communicate.
You think about that. Like
Marty came back with his family.
All the years you think about, well, I was talking to him because I knew he could hear me. But did you really know? You were hopeful.
By the smile, yes.
You know, but with him, you knew. But like with the technology, he was able to communicate. So you knew that he was, like I'm telling you, he was in the locker room before a game. We invited him my third or fourth year here. And he was locked into the scouting report. And we had him in the middle of, when we all got together, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, Hawks, let's go. And he was, my man was ready.
Fist pump.
And you could tell, and it was such a great feeling for all of us, and for the guys to see that, and then all the guys, because they were all in there too. So
sure.
Yeah, so we're happy to do that, and glad to remember
we appreciate
Kenny the way
it,
we did.
Kenny's friends and family.
Terrific. Let's go to Twitter. Coach Alex, what is your favorite part about being the head coach of a Division I team like the University of Iowa? What's it like being the head coach all these years, and how are the freshmen coming along? I guess it's a two-part question.
Yeah. You know, getting into this profession was something that, you know, I'd hoped to have the opportunity to do. You know, your playing career's over. I didn't want to leave the game. So, you know, you get an assistant job, then eventually you become a head coach, and you realize, okay, now I'm in charge of the whole program. And I'm a sort of out front person for the entire university. So you have to be respectful of that, like how you fit. And so I've been fortunate. I've worked for some really good people at a lot of different places, different ADs, different presidents. But, you know, here, you know, I know how important it is to Hawkeye Nation, and very respectful of that. And it's an incredible feeling to go to work every day, work with these guys. We have tremendous character on this team. In regard to the freshmen, you know, Coop is out. He's injured. And Chris Taggio it's taken him a little bit of time, but he's getting there. He's a hard worker. He's an incredibly talented athlete. You know, Trey Buchanan is another freshman that was a preferred walk-on, but he's a really good player. Can really shoot, tough, he's going to be a factor before he leaves. So all in all, I think it's going to be a great class.
Yeah, you told us this summer this is your deepest team. You feel roster top to bottom.
You know what, Dolph?
You're going to call on that depth.
Calling on that depth tomorrow. Because Coop's not going to play. We don't know about Seydu. Luckily, Josh and Peyton are back because you could tell that they were hurting in the Utah State game. And then Evan Braun sprains his ankle, doesn't play in the last game. He's back. So somebody does something, tweaks their shoulder or their whatever. So I said we're legitimately 13 deep, and we're going to need all those guys.
And that leads me to the next question on Twitter, Coach, from Kevin. And by the way, Alex, thanks for your input. Kevin, what goes into the decision process when dividing up playing time? Well, we've talked about the injuries. Obviously, that changes everything. But, you're looking at a deep roster. Who do you decide who and how gets how many minutes?
Well, typically, the starters separate themselves from June until the first game. Sometimes starting lineups will change based on what happens throughout the course of the season. That might be injury related, but it also might be who your opponent is. We got to go big. We got to go small. We're behind. We're going to press. We go small. We think we have a big time size advantage. We're going to go inside and take advantage of that size and strength. So there's a lot of factors throughout the course of the season that'll determine playing time. But ultimately, you're trying to be fair with regard to dispersal of minutes. Mm-hmm. It's not an equal opportunity. You earn it.
Sure.
But you also don't want to bury a guy and not let him develop his confidence. If he's earned playing time, he's got to get playing time. And sometimes that number of minutes might be different from what he thinks and what we think, but I just try to be as fair as I can with that.
Bobby, watching you play all those years, you welcome the minutes on the bench to get your breath. Phil Jackson was brilliant at how he spaced that roster out with the Bulls, but Jerry Sloan too with Utah.
Well, you always want to play. I mean,
right.
Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and you got to be ready. I mean, that's the mark of a professional, Gary. You got to do whatever it takes to when you're out there to get it. But yeah, with the Bulls, we let Michael play as much as he wanted to at that time.
Michael didn't want to come out.
Yeah, just get him the Gatorade when he come out.
I remember Will Chamberlain. He never came out. Never came out.
Why would you take him out?
Well, Butch Van Biederkoff did one time, and they're still talking about it. I think that was '69.
Did they fire Butch on the spot?
Oh, they fired him shortly thereafter. and I used to coach against him when I was a coach at Lehigh. I was 26. He was the coach at Lafayette, which is 12 miles away. He was 69, and we were at a golf tournament together. I said, "Hey, Butch, why'd you take Wilt out?" Well, then he had a few things to say that I will not repeat on radio, and said, I bench him again. He said, "Yeah." What was it? 40 years later, He said, "Yeah." He said he wasn't playing worth a damn, and I took him out, and we came back. We were getting torched because he wasn't doing anything, and then so my other lineup got us back in the game. Now he taps me on the shoulder. He wants to go back in. I said, sit down over there, big fella.
Watch.
You ain't getting back in. Then, of course, they end up losing by 1. And then it was like, why don't you put Will in?
And he was
fair observation.
Yeah. Butch was a heck of a coach, though.
He was a terrific coach. He was a unique person, but brilliant. You hear the term Princeton stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, remember, Pete Carrill worked for Butch.
I did not know that.
Butch ran all that stuff.
I did not know that.
Back cuts.
Yeah, that's
back cuts and flare screens and imagine trying to guard that stuff, Bobby, with no clock.
Yeah,
that's what we
continuous.
had to do when I was at Penn. 2.5 minutes of flare screens and down screens and curl cuts and backdoor and dribble lats
forever.
It's like, are they ever going to shoot the ball?
Yeah, we played when Jordan was making one of his comebacks. We played secret little things at Hoops the Gym, and Mitch Henderson and Craig Robinson were there. They were running those back doors, and it's like you want to tackle them.
Mitch is still doing that.
Yeah, he still does. I know.
All those,
good dudes.
Joey Scott doing it at Air Force. There's a number of those guys that are really successful. Craig, of course, now runs the NABC. He was the Ivy League Player of the Year. He was a really good player. Mitch was a really good player too.
Still a place. Good back then.
Still a place for that style.
They were coaching Northwestern, I think. They were both on that staff. Yeah, they take their.
Well, Billy Carmody was there.
Bill
Carmody came from Princeton to Northwestern.
I was doing Northwestern when Bill Carmody came into. I mean,
great guy.
It was fun to watch. Great guy. Great coach.
Interesting guy to talk to.
Terrific. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. We're at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville with Coach McCaffrey, Hawk Talk, Iowa Northwestern. Now, that's an early tip tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. And we'll step out and take a break, come back with more of your Facebook, Twitter posts for Coach McCaffrey in just a minute. Tonight we're sponsored by the University of Iowa Healthcare. UIHC is here for you no matter where you are in the state, changing medicine and changing lives for all of Iowa and beyond. Visit uihealthcare.org, uihealthcare.org. And the Hawks are bowl eligible. Football is heading someplace nice for the holidays. You can sign up right now at hawkeyesports.com/bowl central. And when the bowl announcements come out this Sunday, you can get game ticket, travel, and hotel information as soon as the pairing is out there. Presented by Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited, Iowa's official bowl tour. Travel with the Hawks this bowl season. Hawkeye, Iowa, and Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited, the best. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
People are having a hard time containing their excitement about the new Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery.
Holiday tickets? I love these!
Especially when they find out you can win part of over $1 million in second chance cash prizes when you enter any holiday ticket in the Iowa Lottery's VIP Club.
$1 million? Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. Cash prizes are coming to town from the Iowa Lottery.
Woohoo!
See rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
Third down 11. Straight back to pass is Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. That's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
The Hawks are in town tomorrow night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Please come on out. 6 o'clock tip-off time. Tickets are available. You can log into HawkeyeSports.com. Come on out. Watch the Hawks in Northwestern. Should be a terrific game. Big Ten opener. Iowa travels to Michigan this weekend and then back out of conference for a couple weeks, including the Iowa State Cyclones, a week from Thursday at Carver Hawkeye Arena. So lots of big-time basketball coming up. Coach, these quad one games this time of the year are precious. Chance to make hay.
Yeah. You know, I think what you have to do is you have to be smart with how you schedule in terms of blending opportunities like that and then keeping your team at home, keeping them healthy. It's interesting now because once we went to 20 league games, now you're playing 2 league games in early December. Used to be we didn't play those games until January. So then you needed to, schedule a little bit differently. But, they're great opportunities. Some of them are on neutral sites. Obviously R3 are. And, I think it's important to know and understand not only in challenging yourself, but playing teams that play different styles. Some teams press, some teams zone. Some teams play short bench, some teams just keep rotating fresh personnel and fly around. And that's what happens when you get in the NCAA tournament. You don't know who you're going to get. So it's something that everybody deals with each year when you put a schedule together, how you want to do it.
Well, on that note, Connor on Twitter checks in, how important will not fouling be against Northwestern? They're a team that loves to get to the foul line with that deliberate style. They'll get up and go, but they're also a team that shoots a lot of free throws.
Yeah, they go back down game a lot, with Barnheiser and Martinelli. Leach can get to the rim. He's had 16 free throws in one game. I think it was the Dayton game, or it might have been the Eastern Illinois game, one of those games. So, they're going to run their stuff, and they're going to drive the ball, and they're going to post up. So you want to keep them off the free throw line for obvious reason, but then also keep your team out of foul trouble and keep them from going into the bonus or the double bonus.
Brandon on Twitter. Coach, wait a minute, I missed one here. I wanted to go this one. Tim, Coach, it is. Iowa's defense much improved. Have you made some philosophical changes to the defense, or do we just have players this year that are working harder at it?
Yeah, we haven't changed anything. Defense, the guys have really been competing, so that's been great. But we have in the past, too.
Brandon, Coach, do you have a favorite story from your long career on the recruiting trail? Maybe unique story is what he's asking about, given the way things have changed in recruiting. And what do you enjoy most about the recruitment process? Do you have a unique story you can share with us?
Probably could come up with one. Nothing pops into my head. Well, actually, one does. I recruited a guy one time that his father wanted him to come to our school. His mother wanted him to go to another school, and they got divorced over it.
No way.
Yeah. So,
did he come with you?
No.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Things happen.
We don't need to mention names.
I'm not mentioning any names. It was a long time ago. Very long time ago.
That is a unique recruiting story. What do you enjoy most about the recruiting process?
Oh, that wasn't even me. That was.
Well,
Margaret piped in with one. So,
okay.
My former boss was recruiting, and he was recruiting in Kentucky. And there's a town in Kentucky where the kid was playing.
Uh-huh.
Like Verseilles.
Versailles or Versailles?
Okay. So he's driving. He can't find the place. In those days, we didn't have GPS.
No, of course.
So he pulls up and says, we're looking for this place. It's in Versailles. He goes, Versailles. And he says, no. He says, and it's ready to pull away. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, wait a minute. You mean Versailles?
The pronunciation was a little off.
Pronunciation. One's in Paris and one's in Kentucky.
How could you? Yeah, come on. There's only 2 Versailles. I guess.
But one of the funniest ones was Mick Cronin told me this story.
UCLA coach now.
Yeah, he was recruiting a kid that was a little rough around the edges. Had done some things that were, you got to decide. Okay, we're going to go on this kid, or So he said, "Look, man," he goes, you burned some bridges, in your day." And he goes, so kid says, and they kept talking for a while. And finally the kid said, "Look, coach, I've done some things that, I've smoked some marijuana."
I'm not proud of.
He goes, "I've done some things I'm not proud of, but those bridges, that was somebody else. I didn't burn them down.
I've never burned a bridge.
I never burned a bridge down in my life."
You've told me that story. That is hilarious. I've never burned a bridge down.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Don't lump me in on that.
But the best line is, "Look, I've done some things I'm not proud of.
I'm not proud of.
But I've never burned a bridge."
Never, no.
Bobby, I love your couple of your recruiting stories. Rick Majerus was involved in one of them, right?
Yeah, Rick was Marquette at the time. Hank Raymond's coming off a national championship and came in late. They lost somebody or something. So went up there on Easter weekend, I think it was, up to Milwaukee and take a look at it. And he picks me up in an old Gremlin, AMC Gremlin that he had, which it's like, "All right, coach, what nice car here." And he's like, "Yeah, it's just my cruiser." I said, "I can pull up anywhere in any old city and nobody will take it. I just leave the keys in the car. Nobody bothers this old hunk of junk." So that was Rick.
Your mom, was it Texas A&M came in to
I don't know who it was.
recruit?
It was somebody, yeah, but it was down south.
Yeah.
And she said over my dead body. That was before the NIL and all that.
Your
they were
mom,
laying it out there.
Well, but your mom said you're going to play for Lute Olson. You aren't going to go play for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Or Texas Tech.
Yeah,
Texas A&M had no shot there.
Yeah, it was. It came down. They came up and just I couldn't do it. My old man wanted
Did you even know where Texas A&M was?
I took a trip. Down
before that?
No. No.
Did you know it was in College Station, Texas?
I knew it was in Texas.
I would have not known that, nor would I have known what league they were in.
Well, you know why they recruited me? Because I put on my recruiting thing. I wanted to be an airline pilot. So it'd be an aeronautical engineer. That's what my history is there. So they said, "Son, you either got to go to the Air Force Academy or Texas A&M are your 2 choices." So
mothers loved Lute Olson.
She ran when they did the in-home visit. She went in the bedroom and locked the door and said, "Over my dead body." She said, "Get out of my house."
Yeah. My dad boycotted a visit too.
He did?
Well, it was interesting. I was recruited I got a letter from West Point signed by a guy with a lot of consonants in his name. KRYCZ. Mike Krzyzewski.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Michael K.
So they were coming to school to visit with me, and I'm like, all right, I'll talk to the guy. I don't know the guy. I'll talk to him. West Point's a pretty cool place.
Sure.
My dad fought in Korea. My dad said, cancel it. I'm like, just come by to talk. He said, "You're not going to West Point.
Not going to the Army.
You're not going to the Army." I went. You're not.
So he.
Well, luckily I was right after the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
My cousin, who lived older than me, he got a number, and it's like, if you got a low number, like you're like
drafted.
Like
where you go?
You're on the next plane.
Yep.
You're in a jungle in like a week.
My brother was in that situation.
Yeah. Well, my cousin got a low number, and
see you later.
It was the high, whatever number. I guess it was a high number because he was like 280 or something. Okay, I'm not going. My brother had to do a number. They stopped the draft, but they were still taking numbers because we were worried about that. But
good call.
We digress.
Good call by your dad. Good call by your dad.
I said, you ain't going there.
Oh, man. He said, "I ain't going down there. I can't swim. Put me in an airplane up there somewhere."
B-29.
B-17.
Kirk Ferentz.
B-17 for the cockpit. Yeah. Anyway,
Kirk Ferentz told me the story about when he came out here to enter. He's 24 years old. He's a grad assistant at Pitt. Came out here to interview with Hayden Fry for his first job as an offensive line coach. Barry Alvarez picked him up. Barry was the linebacker coach at Iowa. Picked him up in an AMC Hornet in a snowstorm at the Cedar Rapids Airport.
Well, when I was working with Barry at Notre Dame, he wasn't driving an AMC Hornet.
No, he wasn't.
He had upgraded.
No, I wonder if Barry still has that AMC Hornet.
I don't think.
Probably not.
That first year that I was there, they were undefeated. I don't think anybody scored on us.
No, not with his defense.
No.
All right, one more break here before we say goodnight from the Hyatt Regency with Coach McCaffrey and Hawk Talk. Back with more in just a minute from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Welcome back to our remaining moments from the Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency, Coralville. Hawk Talk from Learfield with Coach McCaffrey, Bobby Hansen. I'm Gary Dolphin. We're here next Monday night. Tomorrow night, it's Iowa Northwestern at 6 o'clock, which brings us to our Midwest One Bank Stat of the Week. As the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball, Midwest One is proud to be a doer to help you doers and entrepreneurs. Our teams are ready to help you reach your business goals. It's empowered money management. Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. Hawks have won 12 of the last 14 against the Wildcats and 17 of the last 21. Now, Northwestern's only home loss in the conference last year, Fran, was the Hawks' 87-80 defeat at Welsh Ryan Arena. And this is a veteran team. They're going to come in here loaded for bear.
Yeah, you got two guys that are averaging 20, essentially, and you got a grad student in Nicholson at the 5 spot, 7 feet 280. You got the point guard Leach, who played 4 years at Fairfield, scored 1,000 points there. He's a really good player. And Ty Berry, we've talked about him. I mean, Ty's in his 5th year at Northwestern. But they got some good young players. They got a couple other guys out of the portal. It's a veteran club. They play really hard on defense. And you got to really move the ball, and you got to be strong with the ball. Can't turn it over. Last year when we won that game you were just referencing, we didn't turn it over.
Great game from baseline to baseline.
We had 5 turnovers the whole game.
Yeah, and that's against Boo Buie, who thankfully is not there tomorrow night. Airtime 5 o'clock for the pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. 6 o'clock for the tip-off at Carver Hawkeye. Come on out. We hope to see you. Tonight we're here at the Hyatt Regency, and I want to mention the Breakfast with Santa. December 14th, coming up shortly, here in about 2 weeks. Their family-friendly holiday breakfast here at the Hyatt includes a photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus, a holiday craft, everyone's favorite breakfast foods as well. The Hyatt, great food here at the Hyatt Regency. You can grab your tickets from the Hyatt Regency Coralville Facebook page or by calling them at 319-688-4028. Coach, great to see you. We'll see you in 24 hours over at the arena. Huh?
Look forward to it, Dolph.
Bobby, you too? All right, buddy. Get home safely tonight. Drive carefully. About a half an inch to an inch of snow around eastern Iowa today, but it is the first one of the year, so make sure you travel safely tonight. A quick U.S. Bank scoreboard update before we say goodnight. The only thing really going tonight is Monday Night Football, and Cleveland has a 10-7 lead on the Denver Broncos. Midway through the second period, they're out at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Browns 10 and Denver 7. All right, let us conclude tonight with a plug about Hyatt Regency and all the great chow and the efficiencies and the customer service here for Hawk Talk at our Hyatt Regency Coralville Watermill Kitchen and Bar each and every week, where you can come out and watch the show live. We'll be here next Monday night starting at 7 o'clock until 8:30. Each week they offer an extended happy hour, including $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. Come out to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball. Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. All right, that's it for our show this week. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, starting at 5 o'clock on the Hawkeye Radio Network with the pregame show, Iowa Northwestern. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Good night, everybody.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. Brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit MidAmericanEnergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Visit MidwestOne.bank for empowered money management. Member FDIC. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit IALottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.